Their bodies tangled together, my stomach churned as I watched, my heart breaking with every touch, every kiss, and then it happened. And we're back with reading crazy Reddit stories. Reddit, notorious for exposing you to unwanted content, and also notorious for having great stories. Like this one, I hid in the closet while my wife had an affair. He couldn't get it up. If you need a better title, there isn't one, because this is very, very crazy. All right, let's see how this goes. It all started with the distance. At first, it was subtle, little things that I brushed off as stress or fatigue. Sarah would come home late from work, her phone always face down on the counter. She stopped asking about my day, stopped laughing at my jokes, stopped looking at the way she used to. I told myself it was just a phase, that we'd get through it. After all, I was working so much to give her everything she wanted. The house, the car, the vacations. It was all for her. But more I gave, further she drifted. Okay, so it looks like this is just a classic story of, you know, too much work and can really. Alright, so this really looks like just a classic story about a man working too much, can't really spend more time on his family and his wife as well. Alright. Continues by saying, the breaking point came one night when I came home early from work, exhausted but determined to surprise Sarah with dinner. I walked into the house, my arms full of groceries, and called out her name. No answer. I checked the living room, the kitchen, the bedroom. No answer. Nothing. Then I heard it, the sound of laughter coming from the guest room. My stomach dropped. As I approached the door, my heart pounding in my chest, I pushed it open just enough to see inside. And there she was, Sarah, lying on the bed, her hair down and her face flushed. And there was a man with her, Mark, my neighbor, my friend. Oh no. It's bad enough when it's your neighbor, or at least your friend, but both? What happens? Like, do you have to move out or something? I don't know. All right. I don't know what to do. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. My wife and my neighbor? Exactly. How could they do this to me? I wanted to storm in, to scream and yell and throw things, but I knew that I wouldn't solve anything. So I did something even crazier. I hid in the closet. Hiding in a closet during your wife's affair. I mean, bold move if anything. It's a very bold move. All right. The closet was small and crumpled, filled with old coats and shoes. I could swear I saw everything. The closet was small and cramped, filled with old coats and shoes. I could hear everything. The rustle of sheets, the sound of their voices, the way Sarah giggled, and the way she hadn't giggled with me in years. It was torture. But I couldn't bring myself to leave. I needed to know how far this would go. This is either like the most dramatic or like the most pathetic thing I've ever heard, but we'll see where this goes. Maybe both. They moved to the bed, and I could see them through the slats in the door. Their bodies tangled together, my stomach churned as I watched, my heart breaking with every touch, every kiss, and then it happened. I can't, Mark said, his voice frustrated. I don't know what's wrong. Sarah sighed. It's okay, just relax. I am relaxed, he snapped. It's not working. Oh no. Performance issues during an affair. I mean, this is just awkward. I couldn't help it. I started to laugh. It was a quiet laugh, but it was enough that Sarah heard me. Sarah froze. Did you hear that? She asked. Hear what? Mark said, sounding annoyed. I thought I heard something. I held my breath, praying that they wouldn't open the closet, but of course they did. The door swung open, and there I was, standing like an idiot, still in my work clothes, my face red from trying not to laugh. Trying not to laugh or trying not to cringe. All right, this is like the moment we've all been waiting for. Sarah's eyes went wide. What the hell are you doing here? I shrugged. I live here. Mark, on the other hand, who was scrambling to cover himself, looked like he wanted to disappear. I should go, he said, grabbing his shirt off the floor. No, stay, I said, stepping out of the closet. This is actually kind of perfect. Sarah stared at me like I'd lost my mind. What are you talking about? I looked at Mark, who was fumbling with his belt, and then back at Sarah. I get it, I said. I sometimes have trouble with her too. This man just won the award for like the best clapback of the year. I mean, talk about embarrassment. The room went silent. Sarah's face turned into bright red, and Mark looked like he wanted to crawl under the bed. I didn't stick around to see what happened next. I just grabbed my keys and walked out the door, leaving them to deal with the mess they made. I drove around for hours late at night, not sure where to go or what to do. I ended up at a bar, nursing a beer and trying to make sense of everything. How had it come to this? I'd spent years working on myself to the bone to give Sarah everything she wanted: the house, the car, the vacations. And this was how she repaid me? By cheating on me with a guy who couldn't even perform? I mean, the irony here is just too much to handle, right? When I finally went home, Sarah has gone. She left a note on the kitchen counter. We need to talk. Yeah, no kidding. You need to talk. The next few days were a blur. Sarah moved out, and I filed her divorce. And I filed for divorce. It wasn't easy, but it was necessary. I couldn't stay with someone who'd destroy me like that, no matter how much I still loved her. As for Mark, I heard through the grapevine that he quit his job at the hospital. Apparently, he couldn't handle the embarrassment. I can't say I blame him. Karma's a real killer, isn't it? Looking back, I can't believe I hid in the closet that night. It was probably the dumbest thing I've ever done, but it was also the most eye-opening. I realized that I'd been so focused on providing for Sarah that I'd forgotten to take care of myself. I'd let our relationship fall apart, and I hadn't even noticed. But I'm no bitter. If anything, I'm grateful. I guess you should be. The night in the closet was a wake-up call I needed. It showed me that I deserved better than Sarah, better than one-sided relationship, and better than hiding in the dark while someone else took what was supposed to be mine. And that, folks, is how you turn a train wreck into a life lesson. All right, what do I think about it? The story, I mean, it has equal a heartbreaking and like a hilarious turn, right? If you look at Mark, poor Mark, I mean, he had to quit his job. As to Sarah, honestly, at this point, I don't even know what to do. The divorce is probably the right thing for Mark to do, but as uncomfortable it is, I guess that Mark and the person who wrote the story, they shouldn't be friends anymore. All right, well, my comments. The story is like equal both. It's like heartbreaking and hilarious, but also it kind of reminds you that really, whenever you fall into like the most absurd situations in life, all you can do is laugh, like the main guy here. We actually didn't get his name, did we? As to Mark, what an embarrassment. You go back to your work and everybody knows what you did. Can't get it up. Come on. I mean, if you're gonna cheat on somebody, at least make it work, right? And Sarah, I think the best course of actions was divorce, definitely. So yeah, and obviously if you like these kind of stories, be sure to subscribe, as we have a whole bunch of them coming soon. And yeah, let me know what you think about the story. All right, bye.